Hello YouTube fam, thank you for joining me today. My name is Gina Marie Bova, and this is where I like to come to talk about solved and unsolved true crime cases, true crime stats and facts, and missing person cases that I don't feel have gotten enough attention from mainstream media. If these are subjects that you are interested in, I hope you will click subscribe, and if you hit the little bell next to the subscribe button, YouTube will notify you whenever I upload new content. The stories I discuss on this channel are not easy to hear. Some of the stories are of murder, kidnapping, child abuse, rape, molestation, etc. If these are things that you cannot listen to, please take care of yourself and click off of this channel. I do not sugarcoat things. I give details when details can be given, and I show photos that even bring me to tears. But these are stories that need to be told. Evil lives among us and does not go away just because we bury our heads in the sand. Today I would like to tell you about the murder case of a 5-year-old child. Her name was Kamari Holland. This all happened just last year, 2021, so the court cases have not concluded and the defendants are still considered innocent until proven guilty in the eyes of the law. I, however, am not the law, and by the end of this video my feelings on the matter will be quite apparent. Kamari Holland was born on November 23, 2016 to Christy Sipple and Corey Holland. In September of 2021, Kamari began preschool. She was 4 years old. When asked what she wanted to be when she grew up, she said a princess. 2 months later, she would turn 5 years old, and the month following that, she would be murdered. Christy Sipple had 2 sons, then Kamari, then another son. From what I could gather, Christy Sipple was in trouble with the law for using drugs while pregnant with her youngest son. Corey Holland got full custody of Kamari, and Christy was permitted weekend supervised visitation. Now, I don't know if the custody situation was the same for her other 3 children, but what I do know is that Kamari's father, Corey, lost custody of at least one of his other children after Kamari's death. And the reason for this is the fact that he allowed Christy to have visits with Kamari without the court-ordered supervision. On one hand, I feel like, how could he have foreseen the tragedy that was to come? But on the other hand, it pisses me off to know that Kamari's fate may have been avoided if her father would have protected her by just following the court order. But I'm jumping ahead of myself. Let me bring you back to the morning of December 13th, 2021. Christy Sipple was living at 1607 Bowman Street in Columbus, Georgia. At 6:15 a.m., Sipple calls 911. She's frantic and says that she woke up around 5:30 a.m. and her daughter was gone. She says she looked around the house, but her daughter was gone and the front door was wide open. The police wasted no time in searching for little Kamari Holland. Many details are still unknown to the public. This case is still in the courts, and the judge has placed a gag order on the details, but not before the police shared some of those details. Christy went on the news crying for the return of her missing daughter Kamari. She called her daughter her heart, her life, and her whole reason for living. Meanwhile, the police quickly had a suspect in Kamari's kidnapping. Surveillance footage from near the home that morning led them to 37-year-old Jeremy Williams. He was acquainted with Christy and in the area at the time of Kamari's disappearance. Jeremy Williams was no stranger to police. Known as a drug dealer, he has also been a suspect in at least 3 other child abuse cases. He was never convicted, however, but that was due to lack of evidence and the fact that the victims were either deceased or too young to testify. His own 1-month-old daughter died from blunt force trauma. That case is still open, and they're now investigating him again. There was also a case in 2009 where Jeremy was charged with dipping a 3-year-old boy up to his waist in boiling water. In 2012, he was found not guilty due to lack of evidence. Now he is a suspect in the disappearance of 5-year-old Kamari Holland. Police get a tip that he's staying at the Bamboo Motel in Phoenix City, Alabama. They also go search a home in Phoenix City where Jeremy is known to have lived recently. The home is now abandoned. Police search it, and on the evening of the day that she was reported missing, police found the dead body of Kamari Holland. Jeremy is arrested at the hotel. Christy goes back on the news to say that she had absolutely nothing to do with her daughter's death. This is all on December 13th, 2021. A few days later, Christy is on the news again, donating all of Kamari's toys to the Christmas toy drive. She went on and on about how Kamari was an angel and how she would have wanted other children who were less fortunate to have her toys. Then on December 28th, Christy Sipple is arrested on felony murder charges. What the hell? Well, let me try to explain. You see, it seems that Christy was paid by Jeremy for the use of Kamari. In other words, she rented out or sold her daughter to Jeremy Williams so that he could use little Kamari for his own sick sexual pleasure. Did she know he would kill her? Well, we may never know. But who the fuck cares? That sick bitch sold her own daughter to that twisted piece of shit, knowing that her daughter would, at the very minimum, be sexually abused. The charges against Jeremy Williams are as follows. Capital murder during a kidnapping, capital murder during a rape, capital murder during sodomy, abuse of a corpse, human trafficking, production and possession of child pornography, rape of a child under the age of 14, sodomy of a child under the age of 14. Christy Sipple has been charged with the following: felony murder during the course of a kidnapping, felony murder during the course of a rape, felony murder during the course of a sodomy, and conspiracy to commit human trafficking and sex trafficking of a minor underneath the age of 14, according to arrest warrants and court documents that were disclosed prior to the gag order. Jeremy paid Christy an undisclosed amount of money and then took possession of Kamari Holland. He then took Kamari to his previous residence, which was now an abandoned home. There he sexually abused Kamari and then used a ligature to strangle the little girl until she was dead. He then proceeded to record a video of himself raping and sodomizing her tiny little corpse before he left her alone in that abandoned home, to be found by the police a few hours later. Both of these evil wastes of space are still in jail and awaiting trial. Jeremy Williams has pled not guilty by reason of mental disease or defect. In other words, he is claiming that he was insane at the time of the murder. He is currently waiting for the court to schedule an exam to see if he is sane enough to stand trial and to see if he can claim insanity as a defense. If his defense works, he will not be let go, simply sent to a mental hospital for the criminally insane if found guilty. If found not to be insane, but still found guilty, he is looking at either the death penalty or life without parole. Christy is looking at a life sentence if she is found guilty. Corey, Kamari's father, is fighting to regain custody of his other children. He and his family members want the death penalty in this case. He calls Christy a monster and says a mother would do anything to protect their child. Christy is a monster. I will keep track of the trial and update you as soon as the verdicts and sentences are given. Evil is all around us. It feeds on the innocent. Hold your loved ones close. I will be posting a new video in 2 days. I'm working on a really interesting one, and I hope you can join me then. Until then, please don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, or share. Until next time, y'all stay safe out there.